The price of Bitcoin looks like it is in a massive corrective structure, and it's just a matter of time that the price does go to all-time high. And I want to explain how it is unlikely that we will get a successful breakdown below $100,000 and that we should be heading up to all-time high in the next coming weeks or even days, guys. Okay, just want to let you know that I'm in Sweden right now. I've come to a wedding of a good friend of mine, and there will be no live stream till Tuesday. But this is why I'm doing this update. I want to let you know the different scenarios that could happen. First of all, we are back inside the value area range. Okay, we did attempt to break above it at the beginning of the week, but we claimed, okay, the value area high and acted as resistance to then get this drop. And we're currently holding very nicely that point of control. So what is the deal here? I know the price might be looking very choppy. When we do zoom out to the 4-hourly time frame, this is it, guys. It's just about to roll over. This is weakness. We've had a massive rally between April and May, and this is just topping out, and we're going to get that rollover to the downside. Well, potentially in the next coming weeks, yes, but I want to explain a little bit in detail, guys, looking at Elliott wave theory about this movement to the downside, as we were talking about this throughout the last 7 to 8 days. As we were getting this range, we were very much aware of this bounce to happen because we had a 3-wave structure to the downside here. We even started with a 3-wave down, so it looked very nice here to get a bounce at some stage. Yes, we did get a volatile move. This is why we'll be discussing the potential volatile move that could happen here and why I'm still interested in long positions. I am in long positions, I'm in new long positions, and I'm just interested in long positions throughout the next coming days. Of course, I missed out the drop here. I did not short the last few days. I missed out on this short. And now as we've got this correction and I understand that all of this is corrective, I'm still in longs and I'm just interested in new long trading setup, guys. If you are interested in claiming some bonuses and trading in the best exchanges, which they just require an email and a password, you do have Bluffin. You get 20% cash back up to $500. You've got all of these different prizes as well to claim, and $30,000 deposit bonus on weeks with a 25% fee reduction, guys. That's using the second link for weeks or the fourth link for Bluffin. You just need an email and a password. No VPN, guys. Take advantage. You have the links down below in the description. Now let's analyze this situation. Still in longs, only interested in longs. If I did not short the market here with this, drop that we've had the last few days, am I interested in shorts? Well, an interesting short here was just at about $106,000. You had a very tight invalidation. I will explain that right away. This move to the downside for me still looks very corrective, just like this move right over here. But first of all, let's go with the bearish case scenario. If I believe that the market is just forming a head and shoulder structure and we are going to drop down, I need to understand that we are forming a leading wave to the downside. This has been explained throughout last week as well, but we're just going to remind the people that this just does not look impulsive. First of all, if you are looking at this as a 5-wave structure to the downside, you had overlap from your wave 1 and your wave 4, and your wave 5 did move down in a 3-wave structure. And that means only one thing. This right over here is not an impulse. And if you're starting to think about diagonals, they are very, very rare to see on the chart of Bitcoin. But you have a 3-wave structure to the downside here, finishing with the highest amount of volume. You didn't get a 4 and a 5, and this does not look impulsive. So all of this seems like a big fat corrective move, and it's just a matter of time to hit all-time highs. So what are the scenarios? Well, let's take a look at the different scenarios. Of course, you have the possibility of forming a WXY here zigzag right over here. This could be your wave X, okay? And this is your wave W. So you have a zigzag in your W and you have your X wave right over here. Now, with this movement down, yes, we said that this could have been the end, all right, of your wave W. However, we have a problem here. We moved up in a 3-wave corrective structure. If we would have consolidated here and created one more high, then great. We have 5 waves. This could be it, guys. Corrective move, boom, all-time high. However, we moved in a 3-wave corrective structure to the upside, back down in a 3-wave move. So this changes the story, right? What other scenarios are possible? Well, let's just label this as an ABC or WXY. It doesn't really matter. It's a 3-wave structure. we have your wave X also, and now we could be forming your wave W, right? So if we do see this as your wave W, X, and now we're forming wave Y, sorry, I did say W. Well, there is a possibility, okay, this has been very complex for your wave X, that we could be forming a flat. However, this flat right over here, the B wave of your flat, which gets from the beginning, okay, it does claim the beginning of your A wave, has really extended a little bit too far away. It is one scenario to take into consideration, just in case this ends up being impulsive. We got the highest amount of volume on this movement down that we had on Thursday, and now we got the bounce throughout Friday and Saturday. If we were to claim the lows, yes, we could label this move as an impulse. This is why we need to consider an ABC flat, because your C wave inside of a flat, well, it does have a 5-wave structure. Sorry, my bad, it's right over here. This is your A wave, B wave, and a C wave. This is why if the price were to come down to hit $102,700, I would be interested in a kind of a double bottom scenario here. I will be paying attention to the value area low for this kind of swing failure pattern, right? You're breaking down, you're testing the lows. I would be very interested at the 7/8 Fibonacci, maybe worst case scenario, the 0.88. But I think, you know, 7/8 Fibonacci, attempting to hit 0.88. I love 0.88. They do get respected many, many times, and this would be absolutely great. Now, we were just about to hit the golden pocket here from the highs to the lows. Now, this would invalidate the wave 4 scenario. We were just a few dollars here in hitting that golden pocket. That's looking at this as a double 1-2 scenario, okay? Looking at this structure right over here, that is dropping down in a 5-wave structure, right? Right over here, you got your wave 1, 2, 3, and 4, and then you have your wave 5. You do not want to see the golden pocket taken from this pivot. Yes, you could say that, you know, this is a double 1-2 scenario. It is a possibility. You don't want to take wave 2 from here because you already have your wave 1, 2, then 3 and 4. So this is your wave 2, regardless if it's your second wave 1 and 2. Golden pocket almost being hit, which, that is the invalidation for your wave 4. It is rare, very, very rare for a wave 4 to get to the golden pocket. So if the price needed to roll over, it will have to be from now. You know, this is why, you know, I'm in long positions already from lower, from this zone right over here and from this zone right over here. If we were to come down here, right, I will be paying attention to that 5th wave, just considering the possible flat scenario here to finish your Y wave. All of this looks corrective. I'm interested mainly in long positions, and I'm very much aware of the price coming to close to all-time high. There is a bearish case scenario, all right, that we do not reach all-time high, which I want to explain right away. But in a nutshell, guys, if we claim the low and we double bottom from the Friday lows, right over here, I will be interested in a double bottom here. I would be looking for a massive rally. I want to long this bounce because I'm aware, you know, it will be possibly a 5-wave structure, and it could be an ABC running flat scenario, okay, based on a WXY, very, very complex sideways momentum. So double bottom for me. If we double bottom, if we break through eventually, not interested in getting into that new long position. If we double bottom, I'm looking for a long. In my opinion, first target will be the lower highs that we've been forming in the last 24 hours, right? That would be your wave 4. We could be breaking up here. Why could we be breaking up? Well, this does look more 3-waving. This is something I was discussing on the Discord yesterday, also with 𝗬𝗍𝘆𝗽𝗍, where we see a 3-wave structure here. We got a nice little 3-wave move to the upside and then a 3-wave move down here. So this does look like a potential WXY double zigzag, all right? Now, what are the scenarios, right, that could happen? Well, we do have a zigzag move to the upside that we have formed throughout, last week, right? When we do see the price action moving up here like this, bang, 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 and bang. It's a 3-wave structure. There's no doubt about it, all right? To the downside, we also have a 3-wave structure, all right? And that is a WXY. There is a very, very good valid count, okay? Let me just, get this and change it, all right? Change the sizes on this because if not, it's going to be looking a bit too big, right? We also have a 3-wave structure to the downside right over here. And what I want to explain is we have the zigzag down, double zigzag, something that we've been looking at throughout the last few days. Bang, 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 right? We have the 3 wave moves to the upside right over here. And of course, 3 waves down, we could be having a 3 wave structure to the upside. And all of this could be a massive A, B, and C. Now, the problem with this is that we do not need to hit all-time high, okay? There is a possibility of the price just hitting the 0.9 Fibonacci, something that I would be paying attention. Of course, most commonly, you do claim the start of your A wave, right? 3 wave move down, possible very large 3 wave move up here. You can hit the 0.9 Fibonacci. You will probably just get above the lower highs that we had here from the 27th of November, the 10th of June, also just slightly above $110,700, and miss out all-time high by, maybe $1,000 or a few $100s, and then really start getting a massive pullback down. Conclusion, I'm interested in a failed breakout of the highs here, okay? If we do break above those highs, then eventually all-time high is good, right? I will be looking for all-time high eventually. That's what I've been leaning on throughout the last few days. But it would be an interesting short. It would be a little bit aggressive because I am very much aware of the price really trying to hit all-time high in the next coming days. However, I'm just very much aware of the price failing to break out and then forming that flat because you're already hitting the minimum target and you might miss out. A lot of people will be rushing to say all-time high here and then we just front run it, right? Something similar that happened a few days ago, looking for those highs and we missed them by just a few $100 and then bang, massive drop of over $5,000, right? So in a nutshell, interested in a double bottom, boom, boom, right? Interested in the long. If we come all the way up here, yes, I would have to see a massive fake out because I am leaning on all-time high. The best way here would be looking at the first breakdown in a 5-wave structure and then the retracement from this movement. That will be the moment in between the 50% and the 7/8 Fibonacci that I would be interested in snipering a shot. So there is the aggressive short, double top, or there is the conservative one, wait for the first impulsive move down sign of weakness and look for the bounce in between 50% and the 7/8. This would be the zone that I would be interested in the short because basically I'm expecting at least another large wave to the downside, potentially a 5-wave move down, but I'm interested in that third wave, right? Regardless if it's going to be a C wave, a Y wave, or a third wave, right? So the first sign of weakness would be a 5 move down to so you can get into the bounce. Those are basically the scenarios. Aggressive short, double top. If we break out to the upside, we just let the price go to all-time high. And then once we get that sign of weakness in a 5-wave move down, then we could be looking for a short position later on, maybe next week or the next 2 weeks, okay? So overall, those are the levels. Short at the highs, okay, at 110,700. Conservative, look for the sign of weakness and then get into the short. If we break through all-time highs, I wouldn't be in a rush in shorting as we get up to all-time high. We might just go to much higher levels. And if we come down to reach the lows of Friday below 102,600, I'm very interested in a reclaim of that low, double bottom, just realizing that, we're going to get that bounce to claim the lower highs of the last 24 hours. That would be the first target one. In a nutshell, this is what I'm looking at, guys. Stay safe, have a great weekend, and I'll see you in the next one.